speak to people within the chat for sure. We are streaming to as well, and love to have and hear all of your um, questions and your wins over this past week, holiday week. And happy to see you all here today.
Great job, Mindy. In radio, they would say you hit the post. And for those of you who are familiar with that term, it was when disc jockeys on the radio, they used to have to vamp in between the songs, but they didn't want to talk over the artist singing, but they would always try to do as many plugs as they could up until the artist started singing the song, and that term was referred to as nailing the post or hitting the post. I can't remember which, but at any rate, thank you, Mindy, for so much for helping out. I want to welcome all of you for joining us here today. My name is Brenda Meller, and I am your host. This is our monthly VIP Job Seeker Office Hours. And I created this event actually back in 2020, if you can believe it, during the pandemic, when I started to realize that a lot of people were being laid off, let go, furloughed, downsize, all these fancy corporate sounding words during the pandemic. And through no fault of their own, they were good employees and at the time working with good companies, but the economy took a dip. And some employers made decisions rather quickly and let people go. So they were really blindsided. Others kind of knew that things might be coming. But as things are continuing to roll on, we're still seeing that there are people in career transition. So I created this group as community, so to speak, because my feeling is when you work in corporate, you're part of a team, right? And when you think about that, all the sacrifices that you made when you were a part of a team, they didn't even feel like sacrifices. It was just your job. But if your coworker was in a meeting writing something and their pen died, you would throw them a pen, right? And if somebody was working on a big project and they ran into a snafu and the printer was jamming and you're on your way out the door, you dropped your bags and you went to help them at this printer, right? And whatever needed to be done, you did because you were part of a team. You looked out for each other. You had each other's backs. And then all of a sudden, one day, you got that awkward conversation where you were tapped on the shoulder by HR and brought into a conference room or brought into a Zoom call, always on a Friday, right? Never on a Monday. And you were told you're no longer part of the team because we're letting you go from the organization. We're eliminating your position. They use all those fancy words and you were numb at that moment. And I know because I was there and two times in my career I've had this happen to me. And it's really interesting how you go from being a part of a team and almost it's like a work family, like you're part of that, team, that work family one day, you were a part of it. And then the next day, you're not a part of it. Right. And it feels very jarring because part of your identity, a lot of your identity can be wrapped into your career and into your job, and you have your support system, your team, your coworkers, and all of a sudden you don't have them anymore. And now you're out there by yourself, right? So I created these VIP office hours in one aspect to help to create a team because look around the room. We've got almost 50 people on the call today, and these are going to be a part of your team until you go back to work. And what I'd like everyone to do right now is I'm going to ask you to go into chat and introduce yourself. And I'm just going to put what we're looking for. You don't need to say, hi, this is Brenda Meller, because Zoom will say Brenda Meller to everyone, or your name, not my name. But you don't need to say that at the top. But I would encourage you to tell us your targeted job title, maybe one or two job titles that you're currently looking for, and then tell us your targeted geographic area. Okay. Where in the world are you located? Even if you're looking for remote work, tell us where in the world you're located, that geographic or metro area. And then drop in your LinkedIn URL in that same description as well. Now, I would encourage you, Renee, I saw it's a little bit long, just a little bit too long. What we're really looking for is just job title, geographic area, LinkedIn URL. Okay. The rest of that I think is really great, Renee, but let's put that on your about statement on your LinkedIn profile because we want to make sure that people read it. And I'll be honest with you, when I see long things like that, I read the top and I read the bottom. I'm not going to read the whole thing. So I'm trying to get all of you in the habit of doing these short descriptions. And Renee, I'm not picking on you. I'm using you to help to educate the community of people as you're in these Zoom calls, these conferences and events and things like that, to use the chat to introduce yourself because you never know who's going to be on the call with you. You might find somebody who else is in your geographic area who is also in career transition. You can meet for coffee or you can become accountability partners. But I want everyone to know that you are not alone. That's really important. It's part of the reason I keep these calls going month after month. And we've been doing these going on, gosh, going on 4 years now. It'll be 4 years in May, I think, that we'll be doing these calls. And I do this with the help of so many people that are part of my VIP All-Star team. I'm going to ask those individuals, if you wouldn't mind, to please raise your hand because I want to make all of you a co-host. And then I'm going to ask you to introduce yourself. So if you could, I know there's Kenneth and Mindy and Sue and a couple other folks in here. So I'm going to make you a co-host and I'll ask you to help me be the responsible adults in the room. If you see anything funny happening in chat or on camera, feel free to mute people or kick them out. We don't typically have anything happening, but the larger the group gets, the more of the possibility that becomes. Linda, I got you. I saw you waving your hand. You couldn't. The raise hand function actually moved around a little bit, which is a little jarring. You got to like navigate along the bottom menu. If you don't see it, click on more. Sometimes it's under reactions, sometimes it's not, and I don't know. I wish I could tell you the powers that be at Zoom, how they're coming up with this. At any rate, I'm going to ask each of the All-Stars to introduce themselves, and then I'll take back over control of the meeting. And what I'd like you all to do is tell us a little bit about your business, anything that you're working on right now that might be relevant to job seekers, including overviews of your services as might be relevant. And then I'm going to put us in kind of like a gallery mode. I'll have two of you on the screen at a time. And here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to put myself, I'm going to spotlight for everyone, and then I'm going to put Mindy up next because I'll do my introduction, and then Mindy will be on deck, and then I'm going to add each of the all-stars in order. So once you're done, the next person in line will go from there. Sound good? Okay, so here's my intro. My name is Brenda Meller. I help solopreneurs, business professionals, and job seekers to get a bigger slice of the LinkedIn pie. I do that through one-to-one coaching. I offer online courses like my boot camp with Brenda program, which will be launching very soon here. And I also put on these weekly or monthly, I should say, job seeker office hours. One additional resource, which I'd like to share with all of you, is called our Do This Now checklist. I'm going to ask Julia to please drop that link inside chat if you'd like to download it. It's a really great resource. All right, there you go, Sue.
Thanks. Hi, everyone. Happy first meeting of the new year. For those who are here, we are your new team. I'm Sue Mentors because I'm the mentor with pom-poms and I'll help celebrate everything, even if you don't think it's a win. I work with a global mentoring practice of professionals in transition. And what I'm known for, and I love that Mindy's following me, Mindy and Brenda bookending me because I've been able to do presentations on excavating your evidence so you can demonstrate results even when you don't think you have numbers, and you don't always have to have numbers. I have a short course on building your professional presence because in the global world, it's professional branding and professional presence, but there's a lot that's relevant. And I actually have several job seekers from this group signed up for the cohort that just started. So over to you, Mindy.
Thanks, Sue, and thanks for all you do for job seekers. I am Mindy Stern. I love helping job seekers. I've been doing that for many, many years, and I can help you with your interview prep, with negotiating your next salary, with just figuring out what your next steps are. That's what I love to do. And I am so excited because I have every month I host a call for job seekers, no charge, of course. And this month we are hosting Kevin Turner, who is the master at figuring out what is new and exciting about LinkedIn. I think last year there were over 150 new features on LinkedIn, and Kevin Turner is coming on Tuesday to speak with us about all the things that are coming up in 2024 and some really specific things for job seekers that happened in 2023. So I'm going to put the link to that. I have a couple of spots left in that for that Zoom call. It's Tuesday at 10, I believe, Eastern. I'm going to put the link in there and you can join right from there. And we hope to see you all then. And again, it's another wonderful community for you to join. If you're not familiar with that community, please join the Accelerators Job Seekers. Also, we've been in existence since COVID, so it's been quite a while and having a blast. Over to you, Linda.
Thanks, Mindy. My name is Linda Brubaker, and what I do is that I work with job seekers, whether you're looking for your very first job, whether you're coming back to the workforce, whether you're currently employed and looking to make a move either up or out. I help people to identify and highlight their transferable skills to help them find their next forever jobs and hire their next company. because I think it's as much your role to hire that company, as it is their company role to hire you. And so I work with you one-on-one and in groups. One of the things that I do is that I will also host a weekly job seekers lunch and learn program. It's every Wednesday at 11 o'clock on Zoom Central Time. I'm going to put the link in the chat as well. It's done in a very interactive manner. We answer as many of your questions as we can, and we have a topic for every week where we provide you some information, and then we go from there. Hope to see as many of you there as we can. I noticed that several of our people are already here. Love to be able to work with you as well. Talk to you soon.
Hi, everyone. Kenneth Lang here. I actually, in anticipation of this, I changed my name on the bottom to LinkedIn Introvert, so you have a better sense of who I am. I am that person that is always afraid to take that first step. I'm very happy to work with people on what they do. I'm currently working at Lehigh Harrison as a branding specialist, and I actually posted in the chat that we're actually looking for a bunch of part-time branding specialists in 2024, and it's a great opportunity for you to pay it forward and get some experience. What I do on the side is I do one-on-one LinkedIn training. And this year, I've actually started a whole program, a paid program as well. But I have to give a shout out to everyone here, to Brenda, to Sue, to Joey, to everyone here for all the support you've given me over the years. Because, yeah, I can't believe it's been almost 4 years since I started what I did. I think I met a bunch of you in all different places. I keep inviting people here because I think it's a great opportunity for everyone to get to know each other, to learn from each other. Don't be afraid to take the first step and connect with us. We do not bite. We will not turn you away. This is a great welcoming community, and I look forward to a great year with you, Brenda, and everyone else here. Have a great day. Joey, on to you, my fellow Jerseyite. Getting ready for snow.
Thanks, Ken. Appreciate it. Good morning, all. So I'm Joey Himmelfarb. I am an author, speaker, and depending on the hour of the day and the day of the week, a coach. I've been coaching unemployed professionals for many years now. And as a retired salesperson, what I do is try to convey to you that while you're looking for work, you are in fact selling yourself. And I take what I've learned about selling, the art and science of it, and try to extrapolate that into the job search. So I've been doing that, like I said, for 20 plus years easily. And I enjoy it. It's almost my mission. If I had a t-shirt, that's what it would say. Looking for work is selling yourself. And as a New Yorker, I'm in your face, and I'll do my best to be positive and upbeat and keep you on track. If I hear you going down a rat hole, I will try to pull you back up. But positive beats negative every day is my mantra, and I'm happy to be here with you. And I know you don't want to be here, but we're all here to help you and get you out of this rat hole, so to speak. So again, Joey Himmelfarb, glad to meet you all and look forward to this conversation. Thanks, Brenda. Back to you.
I need to unmute myself. Do you ever have that happen where you're like, okay. And Sue has her card handy ready too. I have mine and she and I will remind everyone, just some housekeeping items too. If you are not speaking, if we haven't called on you, please mute yourself. It just reduces the background noise. And if you want to be video on or video off, it's really up to you what you feel comfortable with. If you are camera on, it allows us to see your faces. And I don't know about you, but I work from home, so it can be very isolating sometimes when it's just you working from home. So sometimes it's nice to see faces of other people. And I know that when I was in career transition, I felt the same thing. Again, not working with a team anymore, not seeing a lot of faces all the time, not getting out there as much. So it's nice to see faces of individuals. And I just want to see who's on with us today. And I want to say hi and welcome to you, but I will remind you, we're going to start to do Q&A and success stories next. And I also want to share one other thing. Let me just show this in the background right now. I am I'm always working on new things. You guys know me, right? I'm working on new things all the time. I keep coming up with ideas all the time. I launched my first podcast last year. It's designed for people who are really solopreneurs. It's called Enthusiastically Self-Employed. And I've been in the back of my mind thinking I need to have another podcast as well, because I also serve people who are in career transition, job seekers. And I've decided that I'm going to be launching another podcast coming soon. It's probably going to be called Experience Rich, because that's a word I use to describe all of you, especially those who are age 40 plus, 50 plus, 60 plus, and looking for a new job. I don't like to say mature job worker over 50 plus. I like to use the term experience rich because that's what you are. So that's the working title, and there'll be like a subhead that'll say LinkedIn and job search strategies, something like that. But part of what I'll be doing is converting these calls into the podcast. And the other thing I'm going to do is I'll have some solo talks where I'll just be sharing tips and advice. And then I also want to do some LinkedIn profile mini audits with job seekers. So at the end of the call, I'm going to give you instructions on how to sign up for one of these opportunities. Every month, I'm going to have 4 opportunities. You get a 15-minute LinkedIn profile mini audit from me. It will be recorded and it will go into my podcast. So it will be public in that it will be on YouTube and it'll be in the podcast later, but it won't be broadcast live. So it'll just be you and I talking, but I will be using it as a recording. So if you do sign up, you sign up in exchange for knowing that I'm helping you and you're going to help me. Does that make sense? So I'm going to help you with LinkedIn profile tips. You're going to help me because I'm looking to create more content for the podcast that I'll be launching this year. So that will be coming up a little bit later. And then we are going to do some questions, and we're also going to share success stories if you have anything. If you do have a question, this is the format that we use. I want you to go inside chat and type in the word question in all caps. And I'm just going to do my default question as an example. So question, the word question, if you look in chat right now, is in all caps. And then my question, I typed it in total. Do you like coffee? And I'm showing you that because that's what I want you to do. If you have a question, type the word question in all caps in chat and then type in the full question. That way, if we don't get to all of your questions, people can still respond to you inside of chat. That would really help out. And then the other thing I want you to do is use your raise hand function. So if you raise your hand, that helps me to know, oh, you have a question or a success story, especially since we've got a larger group. We're a little over 60 right now. That will help us to find that. Alternatively, if you have a success story, I want you to put the word success in all caps in chat, SUCCESS. I always feel like a spelling bee when I do that. Dan says, where's the raise hand now? It is in still the Zoom menu bar at the bottom. You have to poke around. If you don't see it under reactions, click on the 3 dots and it should be off to the side there. Okay, so while we're waiting for those to come in, I want to say good morning and welcome to all of you. So good morning to Susan, Julia, Joey, Kenneth, Linda, Mindy, Sue, Alyssa, Andrew, Angie, Beth, Christine O, Christine W, Clint, Dan, Dana, David B, David M, Dean, nice to see you, sir, Diana, Ed, Fadi, Jennifer, Joan, John, Julie, Carl, Katie, Kelly, Laura, Marisol, nice to see you. Mark, Marlo, Mary, Matt, Melissa W. Actually, there's 2 Melissa W's, I think different last names though. Michelle, Mimi, Miranda, Nan, Neil, Renee, Rich, Rosanna, Sandra, nice to see you. Hey, Scott, how you doing? Shauna, thanks for joining us. Shanna, Sherry Underwood, nice to see you. Stan, Stephanie, Tara, Veronica, Vic the Pie Man, Wayne, Wendy, and Edward. And Wayne, am I remembering correctly that you are also a career strategist or a job search coach? Am I remembering correctly, sir?
Hey, can you hear me okay, Brenda?
I can, yeah. Is that something that you specialize in? Like you help people in career transition as well?
Well, I do executive recruiting, so kind of
Okay.
like by default, I do. I'm like Joey and the others, I always like to pay it forward, but once again, I'm kind of interesting straddling both sides of the fence where I'm an executive recruiter now consulting
Okay.
for a nonprofit, but at the same time, I'm also looking for my next adventure. So short answer is once again, yes.
Okay,
By
good.
default.
So, and the reason I ask you is I'm gonna you're gonna be voluntold to be one of my all-stars today. And what that means is if when we have questions coming in from job seekers, I'm gonna ask the all-stars to raise their hand if you have any questions. So someone might have a question about working with a recruiter or communicating with a recruiter. If you have any responses to that, if you have any advice, this is optional, Wayne, but I always like to kind of scan the audience, and if there are other experts in the crowd, I like to bring them up. So would that be okay with you? If you have any responses, just use the raise hand and I'll call on you. All
Absolutely, it'd be my pleasure.
right, perfect. Okay, great. Thank you. Okay, so let's get into our questions and our success stories. Susan, I saw that you had your hand raised. Did you have a question or a success story for us today?
Sorry. I actually do have a quick question because I'm in the transaction on an HR fashion. So I'm on the top of the recruiter. How do I connect them? Because I know them for pretty long and I stay in touch. So how can I continue connecting to them? I know it's busy. What advice can you give me, Brenda?
So your question is, this is somebody that you've applied to a job for in the past, and how do you stay in touch with them over time?
Yes, and I still know them. Yeah.
And this is somebody that you know. I mean, have you just tried emailing them or messaging them on LinkedIn and saying happy 2024,
Yes, I
Susan,
did.
how are you? And are they responding to that?
They respond back. They said they have been very busy with this season, so
Okay.
they try to get back to me and we set up a time, a schedule with me. But
That's a response though, right? And I want to just see if any of the other all-stars have any advice for Susan. How do you maintain contact with a recruiter or hiring or recruiter, I guess in this case. And I guess it's someone that you know as well. So I see Mindy has her hand raised, and then Joey. Go ahead, Mindy.
Hey, so I'm sorry, who was asking the question? What's the
It was Susan. Let me pull her up on screen here too.
Oh,
yes,
there. Hi, Susan. So, yeah, so what I like to do is I like to find something that would be intriguing to them. Recruiters are busy, super busy, and they only get paid when they make matches, right? And so we want to be very mindful of their time. And so finding something that might be of interest, maybe it's a recent article that you read that might be relevant to what they do. And maybe it's a great post that you saw on LinkedIn. Just send it over to them and say, hey, just for you to stay top of mind, say, hey, thought you might be interested in this. Just so you stay top of mind and not asking them for anything, but just staying top of mind and finding things that really are interesting, not, another happy 2024 post, but something that's of interest to a recruiter. I think that would be something that would keep you top of mind and make people realize that, what your qualities are. You also might be focused on what your specialties are. So, find an article that's about that and shoot that to them. That way it's not invasive. They can either read it or not, but you stay where you want to be, which is right on top of their mind.
yes. One thing, Mandy, I do stay connected. I didn't ask them for a job or anything. What I try to do is like send them one article relate to that field in a fashion, how they're doing the constraint. And I send a little article about that. And I just want to get to know them about, and I'm trying to get the affinity points that have common interests. So that's what I'm trying to do right now.
All right, just to keep us moving, I'm gonna move us over to Joey, if that would be okay. We can get to some more questions. Thank you, Mindy.
Yeah. So Mindy stole my thunder, but in addition to what Mindy said, Susan, and this goes for everybody, the hiring managers don't care about you. They're busy. They're struggling. They're even the executive, the recruiters, right? So put yourself in their shoes. Know that they're busy, and don't grovel, but be positive and just be positive, right? And be politely professional, and don't be a hound dog. And every month, make a little note to yourself to reach out to them. A note, a phone call, an email, and in time, if they say enough, don't call me anymore, then you don't call them. But until they tell you to stop, you just keep reaching out. They're busy. They got all that stuff on their plate. Believe me, Susan, they're not thinking about you. They're busy. But every now and then, you plant something in their brain, and maybe you'll get their attention.
All right, thank you so much, Joey. Susan, was that helpful for you? All right, cool. I think we're gonna keep us moving along here. All right, thank you so much. So again, if you're joining the call, I call this VIP Job Seeker Office Hours, and this is your chance to get your questions asked by individuals who are LinkedIn coaches, resume writers, recruiters, job search strategists, job search coaches. So if you have any questions as you're in career transition, we want you to use this time to ask those questions. And what I ask you to do is just to go into chat and type in the word question in all caps and then type out your question. That way, if we don't get to all the questions today, there will be folks that can respond to you inside of chat. And the other thing is we're always looking for success stories. So a success might be I got an interview, or people are noticing my LinkedIn profile, or I got a job offer, or I got my resume redone, like whatever you deem to be steps towards that process of getting a job. Hey, my favorite success story is I'm not going to be on these calls anymore. Goodbye, because I got a job and I'm back to work. So that's always my goal, is to not see you on these phone calls, not because I don't like you, but because our goal is to get you back to work. Okay. So I love to hear the success stories, and don't be shy about raising your hand if you have a success that you'd like to share, because you can help others on the call to learn from your steps in that process. And if you have questions, don't be shy either. I would ask, after you ask your question, if you can use the raise hand function. That makes it a little bit easier. That way I can call on you. I see that we have a question coming in here from Shauna. And Shauna says, can you share with the group how you can strategically search for folks that regularly post at your target companies? Could you talk about how that could be valuable from a visibility perspective for a job seeker? Shauna, are you able to unmute yourself just to clarify? I know what you're asking, but are you asking because I know how to do this and you want me to demonstrate this, or is there something you're looking for with this? Could you clarify?
Yeah. And Brenda, I think you know this. I'm part of a job searching, group separate from this. And one of the things that we highlighted the other night was how to actively use advanced searching to find people. So if you have applied at a job, at a company, and you want to show them how, you engage and you're invested and you are already interacting with different employees at the company, one way to do that is to actively search who is posting at that company and leave like a meaningful comment. So that's something we talked about doing to increase visibility. People within companies tend to be connected to one another already. So that is bringing additional visibility, not only to the recruiter of, or a talent acquisition person who may work at the company, but also to leadership there. So I thought it might be valuable to sort of share how to do that.
Okay.
In that session that I was in, they recommended doing that once a week and showing kind of, past week people who've posted. I don't know what your viewpoint is and how often you do that, Brenda, but
I know the person that you're learning from, she also specializes in LinkedIn, and we all learn LinkedIn a little differently, and I know different nuances of the platform. So I'm just going to a company page here, and if I click on posts, I'm seeing posts from the company. To get to employee posts, I could go to the list of employees, but did she share with you a new technique that's allowing you to filter to find posts by those employees, or is it simply going to the profiles?
So kind of how they showed us how to do it is go to search. So just that search bar, and you click enter, just click enter.
Yep.
And then you go to all filters. Yeah.
Yep.
And actually, I'm surprised this didn't show up. Normally, it'll show up like recent posts.
Yeah, that's why I'm like, I don't know what you're referring to, or maybe there's a new feature on here. Is Kenneth Lang still in the call? Kenneth, are you aware of what Shauna's referring to? Because there might be a different area inside filters here that I'm not looking at. Could it be under, let me just try this. If I go back to the home page and click on search and enter.
So what are you looking to search for exactly? I'm trying to understand.
Go to post up. Go back.
Go back to the top search.
Go
all the
back.
way at the tops. Posts.
And then
go start over. Go into search.
Go back to search. The top blue link.
Click on it. Just click enter while you're in it.
You have to back out so it's not just post. Click the blue link LinkedIn at the top.
I think from here though, Shauna, are you looking at, and then you add a company in here?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to use the same company that I had pulled up earlier, just as an example here. And then I click on show results.
You don't enter it there, Brenda. You enter it on your author company.
Can I chime in if that's okay? Can you guys hear me okay?
Yeah, we can kind of go ahead.
All right, go back to the very beginning, that top LinkedIn, blue LinkedIn at the top. Just start from there.
Kenneth, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to do even better than that. I'm going to stop my screen share and I'm going to let you share.
Okay.
Because then you can show us what you're talking about, and I don't have to.
All right. So what are you looking to do? I'm at the top search.
So Shauna is saying there's a way to search for recent posts by employees of a company.
Okay, so I'm gonna. So what would you want the post to be? Let's come up with a top.
I'm looking to comment on people who are employees of the company, their posts.
So what's the company?
It can
Any
be
company?
anything. Striker.
Striker?
Yeah.
Striker. And now I'm going to do Striker and I'm going to do posts. Okay. What do you want to do? A sort by from member?
Sort by, does that give a
Usually,
recent?
yeah, I usually use the past week.
So we'll do latest. Okay. That's what I have
Date,
here.
can you click on date posted, Kenneth? I think that might be a
Sure.
time frame.
Sure,
Past week.
absolutely. So I'm going to get rid of this. And I'm going to do Striker. I'm going to do posts. I'm going to do date posted past week. And now I have.
But this is not just employees of Striker. There was somebody who had a last name Striker too.
No. That's why I'm saying if I go to any posts. So just going to do Striker by itself and I'm going to get rid of posts. I'm going to reset. Oops. So Striker's here and I'm going to get rid of everything. So I just want to do Striker and I want to look at anything with Striker. So if I do posts, it has Striker. If you want people at Striker, there's all different things. I think you probably want to figure out how you want to do this search by if it's posts related to Striker, if it's people at Striker. LinkedIn is not a great, I mean, you kind of have to figure a lot of this out on your own. So if you're looking for people that worked at Striker that did a post, then you're probably not going to do a search this way, probably. If I just do Striker posts and I do people, and then I go from here, that's just going to be people at Striker, and you don't want to do that.
But couldn't you start at the top and then click on posts and then filter to the
You can do
company of
that.
Striker?
Well, that's what I was at before. I had post Striker, and then
go into all filters.
All filters, and then you can go from there.
I usually
Sean is muted.
All right, so now I've got this here again. This is Striker top post in the last 24 hours of anything related that has Striker in it.
But she's looking for a post made by employees of Striker.
I know, and that's why it's almost better to go to the company page, perhaps.
But the company page is only going to show you company page posts. She's looking for employees of Striker who have done posting.
I know. I'm just
okay.
I'm just
all right. If it's okay, I think I'm gonna move us.
I would say,
why
don't if Sean, if you want to take this offline, I'd be happy to have a conversation with you in a little more detail because I don't want to monopolize the call and this is Brenda's call and all that. But I'd be happy to have a conversation later on if that's okay.
Sure.
All right. Thank you for the question, though, Shauna, and it's good to see you on the call and happy to have you here. And I love when we get questions like these too because they give us the opportunity to do demonstrations kind of live and go onto LinkedIn and whatnot too. So that's awesome. All right. Next up, I see a couple hands raised. I see one raised from Julie. So Julie, did you have a question? I think it said, how do you search for target companies if I want to be fully remote? Is that correct, Julie?
Yes.
Okay. So are anybody on the call here who has experience using LinkedIn Recruiter who might have some insights into responding to Julie's question? Any of the all-stars? Or anyone else who use LinkedIn Recruiter for that matter. What I'm thinking is that when you do filters inside jobs, isn't there a way, let me share my screen as I'm talking about this. Isn't there a way, Wayne, you're a recruiter. Do you know what we're referring to here? Isn't there a way you can screen for I'm talking about?
Yes, there's three fields. There's on-site, there's remote, and then there's drawing a blank on the third one, but there's a filter, Brenda.
Hybrid.
There you go, hybrid. Thank you.
Okay.
So
if I'm clicking under, if you click under Julie, if you go to the jobs board on LinkedIn, you type in your job title and then you click on remote and you would just do a remote position. Does that help you out, Julie, or are you looking for something different?
No, I just, I've always been, telling, because I'm on actually, my former employer actually has me on this job placement service for a month, and they have like this thing you can go into for target companies to go into, and it's like, well, I understand that to a point, but I'm not going to relocate either. I'm not, I'm going to be either fully remote or partial hybrid or closer. So, yeah, so in that regard, so yeah, I mean, right now, like on LinkedIn, I put onboarding specialist remote, and I know it comes up that way, by job. So I don't know, if I do by company, you can do job alerts as well, which I've done that in the past. Still do that too.
Okay.
I don't know if there was something else I needed to maybe do, because to make the search shorter, so I don't have to go through a long process when I'm searching the company. So
yeah, I would just add to what Wayne was saying earlier, and I applied the remote filter in here. Just start applying more filters inside here as well. Salary, experience level. Try to apply as many filters as you can, because that'll get more fine-tuned on the results that you're looking for. But on the flip side of that, I'm always a big advocate for not just relying upon the black hole of job search. And by the way, if you hate the black hole of job search, go into chat right now and tell me how much you hate the black hole of job search. You know what I'm talking about. The soul-sucking, energy crushing, you apply to job upon job upon job upon job, and you never hear anything back, and you fill out the application, upload your cover letter, and they say, then do this questionnaire, which repeats everything you just did, and then you might get a form email back, and you keep blather, rinse, repeat. You keep doing it over and over, and then it's like banging your head into a brick wall. I hate the black hole of job search, and I'm a big believer that if you are in career transition, you should not only be applying to jobs through job boards. That's like maybe half of what you should be doing to find a job. The other half is making yourself visible as a candidate, making connections at the company, asking for referrals to people who know people at the company, getting engaged in the company page comments, going to networking events, meeting new people, inviting people who are in your targeted job title, in your targeted geographic area to connect with you. There's a whole lot of other things that you can do other than just the black hole of job search. And I'm a big, huge advocate for them. By the way, I want to do this. I haven't done this in a little while, but we have the job seeker mantra, which I have not done in a really long time. And I was looking at it in the slide deck today. I'm like, I think I want to do this today. So this is something I'm going to invite all of you, if you would like. This is optional, but if you would like, I'm going to ask you to unmute yourself, and we're going to do this together. We're going to raise our hand. You can raise your right hand or left hand. It's not legally binding, so pick a hand. I don't really care. And I'm going to say the line. I'm going to point at the screen, and you're going to say it back to me. Okay, you need to unmute yourself when we do this, because there's power to saying these things, because it tells our brain. You're telling your brain these things as you're saying these things. This is optional. You're going to feel a little goofy, but we're all going to feel goofy together, and that's part of the joy of doing this. So I'm going to say the line. You're going to repeat it back to me. Okay, here we go. This is temporary.
This is
This is
temporary.
temporary.
Are you guys ready? I'm going to be honest with you. We're going to try this time. I'm going to say this is temporary, and then you're going to say it back. Okay, here we go. This is temporary.
This
is temporary.
All right, good job. I am awesome.
I
am
awesome.
awesome.
Because I didn't hear it. Now this time I want you to say it, and I want you to believe it in your heart that you are awesome, because I know you're awesome, and I want you to feel it when you say it this time. Students, I am awesome.
I am awesome.
Oh, you guys, I just got the chills just now. That was awesome. And you are awesome. Point to somebody else on screen right now.
You are awesome.
You are awesome. There you go.
You are awesome.
You are awesome.
Yeah.
Okay,
And
great.
you are awesome.
I am valuable.
I am valuable.
Great. I will find another job.
I will find another job.
Black hole isn't the only way.
Black
hole
is
isn't
the only way.
Only way.
I am in control of my future.
I am in control of my
future.
And using LinkedIn can help to give me power.
And using
LinkedIn
can help
to give me power.
Plus, by attending today, I am a step ahead.
Plus, by attending today, I'm a step ahead.
All right, give yourself a round of applause there, guys. But didn't it also feel good? Didn't it also make you smile just a little bit and get a little bit out of your job seeker funk? And I was there. I've been there several times in my career where I've been in career transition. And you just start saying these things inside your mind, and you start to say, like, sometimes, gosh, I'm never going to find a job. I'm never going to get back to work. And that's why we say this is temporary, because this is temporary. This is just like a blip in your historical timeline, so to speak. This is where you are now. You're in between successes. You were working at a job before that you were successful. You're in between successes right now, and you're going to be successful at your next job someday too. So you're like, if this was an Oreo cookie, you'd be the frosting in the middle. There's like a cookie here and a cookie here, and you're the frosting in the middle. That's where you are right now. This is temporary. Okay. And you are awesome and you are valuable. And I want you to remember that, because when you go through a process of being in career transition, whether it's by choice or not by choice, you are riding a roller coaster of emotions. Some days you're really happy because things are going well. You don't have to deal with the drama at work. You don't have to deal with the stress of things like that. Other days you're feeling like you're at your lowest, the lowest of the lows. You're wondering when you're going to get a paycheck again. You're looking at your budget. You're feeling like you're not getting responses back. You get a negative feedback on your call, right? And I want you to remember that. Remind everyone to mute yourself too, because you unmuted and I'm hearing some back. So I want you to remind yourself you are awesome. You are valuable. You will find another job. And I think that's important. When you catch yourself saying, I'm never going to find another job, I want you to stop it. And I want you to say 3 times, I will find another job. I will find another job. Because you need to tell your brain is going to believe what you say to yourself. If you say, I'm never going to find another job, your brain is going to start believing that. So if you say, I will find another job, your brain is going to find ways to find you another job. So I want you to think about that. The black hole isn't the only way. And I don't ever want anyone to feel like the only way to get back to work is to go through the job boards and then cross your fingers and wait, right? You're not at their mercy. This process is as much about how you can be active in finding your next dream job, and you can empower yourself by using tools like LinkedIn. And I'm a big believer of that. LinkedIn is not just a job search site. It's used by working professionals, and it can help to leverage the great resources and the people that you have already to warm up your job search. I'm a big, big believer of that. So thank you for allowing me to do that today and for participating. I hope you enjoyed it. You might have felt just a little bit goofy. Sometimes I feel a little goofy doing it. But yeah, I think you also maybe felt that feeling of community, like we're all saying this thing together. And maybe it made you smile, and maybe it just planted a little seed in your brain that's giving you a spark of inspiration for the day. So thank you for allowing us to do that. All right, Julie, we're going to move on if that's okay. And we're going to go next to Sherry Underwood. So Sherry, did you have a question, a success story? What did you have for us today?
I have a success story, and it'll end up sounding like a shameless promotion for Brenda, but this is what happened. I joined Brenda's boot camp, which the second cohort, and she's got another one coming up. I highly recommend that everybody at least take a look at it. But during the last one, I had her personal overview and dissecting of my LinkedIn profile, which was pretty good already because I've been following Brenda for years and years. Anyway, I finished that yesterday and I feel very empowered. I think it'll help me to continue to move forward and looking at the hidden job market. And I just wanted to say thank you, Brenda.
Oh, thank you. And it was funny, not so funny, but the other day, Sherry, you posted something on LinkedIn about a job that you're applying for at a specific company. And I like went right away into my network and I found somebody who works there and I reached out to them and I said, hey, I have a friend and a client who's applying for a position at your job. Was it that position or was it something different?
She did not work in that position, but she works at that company.
So it's like through the power of your network, and Sherry didn't even reach out to me and say, hey, can you make an introduction? I'm like, I have to know somebody at that company that I can refer her into. But thank you so much for the nice plug as a part of that program. And I'm looking forward to celebrating your success with you, Sherry. I know you'll get there. So thank you for sharing that. All right. Next up, let's see, Matt, what question or success do you have to share with us today? Hey, Matt.
Sorry. Good morning.
Good morning.
So this is a pretty easy one. It's part success. It's part also question. The success is I found Teal to be great in terms of customizing my resume for various positions that I've been applying for. My one question for other recruiters on the phone is, does it come across as a cookie cutter resume that other people that are applying for the job you see, you know that it's a Teal resume, and does that have any effect on my application?
Okay, I have zero familiarity with Teal, so I'm not even going to try on this one. Do any of the All-Stars have any experience using Teal that you'd like to share? Or Wayne, from a recruiter's perspective, anything you'd like to share? Feel free, anybody, to chime in here. Oh, Sue, I see that you raised your hand. So Sue, what do you have to ask?
Well, I don't have a lot of experience, but it happened to come up in the last week from someone else I'm working with. And it was more general. It wasn't just Teal. It was, are recruiters going to get tired of seeing things? We all know that people are using AI to get different kinds of answers. So I think the message is, and I actually, when I saw your question, I went and searched on it this morning, Matt, while we were in this meeting, to see if people were talking about it on Quora and Reddit. I think the important thing is that you still, and I'm sure you're doing it, all of you here know this, you've got to put your own personality, but the characteristics of your personality in there. So what are your results and in what way are you finding it? I would also test it out on a couple different job titles or aspects of jobs that are different that you're applying for, and see if the two resumes from Teal come out looking identical. You can do your own A/B testing, comparison testing. I think it's new. Teal's put a lot of money in the last year into developing these job services, and that they and jobscan.co look like they're providing things that are useful for people, not just easy database stuff. So just a comment, it seems to be a burgeoning area, and I was really happy you brought this up.
All right. Thank you so much, Sue. Linda, did you want to add anything to that?
I do. You asked whether or not we can tell if we're looking at your resume that it was generated by an AI, and in some cases we can't. Many of the recruiters that I've been talking to tell us that they're seeing a lot of resumes that look and sound exactly the same for the same jobs, because they're putting the resume or the job posting directly into something like Teal, and it gets spit back. So the idea of being able to customize it, changing it into your words, is really important. One of the things job seekers have a tendency to forget is that your resume is not just a listing of your skills and accomplishments, it's also a representation of you, and more importantly, your communication style. Communication is something that you can demonstrate rather than just say. And I'm looking for the way you present yourself in your resume, in your cover letter, as an indication of that style and the way that you would interact with me, other people at the company, and other people outside the company. So make sure that if you're using it, use it simply as a jumping off point, not as a one and done.
Linda, that's really good to know, because I've actually been customizing each resume, of course, and using my own language, not using AI language within it. I mean, you can put it into ChatGPT and whatnot, and that's great. But ultimately, at the end, you can tell that it's done by a computer sometimes. But in terms of the cover letter, I found actually that these programs, and hopefully nobody from Teal is on, but like when you pay for Teal Premium, for example, it gives you an AI cover letter that it creates for you using the job description. I've found that you very much can tell that it's AI that writes it. And so I've frowned away from that and basically have gone to writing my own customized cover letters, and depending on the interest in the job and how much I want it, I'll be very specific and write something very customized for the job.
I think that's great. And one more point before I turn it over to Joey is that the cover letter shouldn't just repeat the highlights from your resume. There should be a reason I need to see it in addition. So the best cover letters are those that actually give me the reason to want to read it, that talk about your value statement in relationship to the job, not just what you bring in terms of your experience, but who you are and why this job is important to you. It's kind of the pre-answer to why me, why this company, what do I bring that nobody else can?
Thank you, Linda. Joey, did you want to add anything to that?
Yeah, I just want to say, Matt, so I didn't talk to Sue or Linda before this call, and we didn't talk about you in general or specifically, but what they both described is selling yourself. And that's what I tell people all the time, is that you have to sell yourself in the job search. If you're going to come across as a typical job seeker, Nobody wants to hear from you or talk to you. But if you come across as a salesperson who can demonstrate your worth and how you can help somebody do something at their company that you did somewhere else, now you've got their attention. So be true to yourself, be as customizable as possible, and put in your specific history and background and results that you've created in previous roles that will make you stand out from the 500 other applicants that are out there. That's all I have to say.
All right. Thank you. Matt, was that helpful for you?
Yes, very much so. Thank you, everyone.
All right. You're welcome. Okay. We're going to do one or two more questions, and then we're going to do, I want to do this prize wheel with the drawing for her for today. All right. Mary Rogers, I see that you have your hand raised, and then we'll go Ed after Mary. How can we help you, Mary? Oh, are you there?
I actually had let my hand raised when we were doing the oath. Apologies. I don't
Oh,
have a
okay. No
question.
problem. All right. Well, thank you for joining us, Mary. All right. Ed, did you have a question?
Yes, I did. I'm wondering, is it better to use the free basic LinkedIn offering, or is it really worth it to pay for the LinkedIn premium service?
Excellent question. So I'm going to start, and then I'm going to see if any of the all-stars want to add anything to this. So the question is, should I pay for LinkedIn, essentially? So right now, LinkedIn has changed one of the features, which is causing me to rethink how I'm responding to this question. And I want to first start by saying I am an independent marketing consultant. My company is Meller Marketing. I do not work for LinkedIn. I do not work for Microsoft. I do not make money if you pay to upgrade to premium or any of the LinkedIn tools or marketing solutions. But sometimes I do recommend to client, it might make sense to upgrade to premium or some of the other features. Now, well, I want you to think about the version that most of you are using is the free basic version of LinkedIn. Premium, the term premium was created by a marketer. And I can say that because I'm a marketer, right? We create this name premium, and it makes it sound like you get a better version of LinkedIn. No, it's the same version, but what you do is you get access to some additional features that you don't get with the free basic version. Now, I usually tell people, especially if you're a job seeker in career transition, you're on a limited budget, it probably doesn't make sense for most people to upgrade to pay for that. I think Job Seeker Premium right now, if I'm not mistaken, it's $30 a month. If I'm wrong on that, go into comments and let me know. But I think it's $30 a month for the Job Seeker Premium. They call it Career Premium. The next level up from there is called Business Premium. And I believe that's $70 a month. If I'm mistaken on that, go into chat and let me know. But I believe it's $70 a month for that. Let's talk about the Career Premium, the Job Seeker Premium level. What do you get with that you don't get with the free basic version of LinkedIn? And the one thing that is causing me to prompt people to say maybe you do want to upgrade with this now is with the free basic version of LinkedIn, we used to be able to invite an unlimited number of people to connect using a personal note. Now LinkedIn is limiting so that if you have the free basic version, you can only include 10 notes a month. And then after that, they're going to get an error message going to say you can't add a personal note. You have to upgrade to premium to get this. Now, I feel like sometimes adding that personal note is going to help you to get those invitations accepted, which could help to get you a job. So that's a longer path there, but I think it could help to increase your chances that the person's going to accept your invitation. Now, if you don't have that limitation yet, know that it's coming, and it doesn't look like LinkedIn is backing down on it. It looks like they're going full steam ahead. I actually talked to one person who said they had a 5 personal note invitation. So that made me a little bit very nervous. But right now, 10 personal invitations. And just so you are all aware, I believe the limit of invitations in total that you can send with or without a note is still 100 per week right now. So you would if I'm giving you advice, I would say if you don't use the premium version, just be very specific about who you're using the personal note with. Like, for example, I probably wouldn't use it with fellow job seekers, especially if you know there's a high likelihood they're going to accept it. Use those personal notes with recruiters and hiring managers instead. Now, in addition to getting unlimited personal invitations, you also get access to who's viewed your profile. So let me just share with you on screen when I'm talking about who viewed your profile, what I'm referring to here. And I'm going to show my profile. I'm actually testing out Career Premium right now. I have been using Business Premium for years, but I'm testing this out just to see what other limits I'm hitting. I'm actually finding I'm doing just fine with this version. So with the free basic version of LinkedIn, it'll show you the total number of profile views, but you don't get access to these premium analytics. So you can see over time how your profile views are increasing, decreasing. We all had the December dip, so I'm not too worried about that. But then you also get the ability to see who has looked at your profile. Now, let's say I'm a job seeker and I applied for a job at Jill's company, and I saw that Jill looked at my profile and she's a second level. I might invite her to connect with me. So having access to that could potentially support my job search, potentially. Okay. And then there are some other things that you get access to. If you go under the For Business, you get access to this LinkedIn Learning Library where you can watch videos and earn badges and certificates as a part of that. But on the whole, I just caution you because I feel like LinkedIn is a business and I get it. They have to make money. So they're using services like premium to try to position it as a better version. But I want you to think about, are you using the features that they are giving you access to? And if you do sign up for Career Premium or the Job Seeker Premium, you should get 1 month free. And then they'll bill you at the start of the second month. So just make sure in that first month that you're actually using the features, that you're getting value. I don't want to see you wasting money. $30 a month, it might not seem a lot, but I don't want to see you wasting $30 a month, month after month, if you're not getting the value back on that. Do any of the other All-Stars want to offer any additional insights on premium? Is Kenneth Lang still on or did he drop off?
I'm still here, and I
Oh, there
was
you are. Anything
actually,
else, Kenneth?
well, I think for me, I think my thinking is that, first of all, one workaround is to join groups where you can message people for free. I do think at some point you may have to take the plunge. I'm on the fence right now because at Lee Harrison, we're struggling with this a lot too. But this is the way it's going to be. So I think the most important thing is to first figure out, if you don't know how to do something on LinkedIn, if you're trying to find something out, ask and see if it's possible that it's a premium feature versus a non-premium feature. Because my gut feeling is a lot of things people think they need to do, they don't need to get on premium or whatever you call it. Sometimes it is a moneymaker, and there's no question in my mind it's going to be continue that way. But I really don't think for most people there's a true benefit in the beginning. If you're going to do it and you're going to bite the bullet, do it for the whole year at once instead of trying to do it month to month, because you might find after 3 or 4 months, I know there's a savings that way. But I think the best thing to do is give it a couple of months, focus on the platform, and then take it from there. Because a lot of the stuff that we do as power users, most people probably won't do to that same extent. I mean, what I do as a workaround is I do connect with people, then set up first connection messages, set up a group message with 3 or 4 people that are all your first connections. And that's another workaround. So Brenda and I, we're in contact, and let's say there's someone we have in common. We'll create a group message for the 3 of us, perhaps, and then it can be taken offline. I mean, I think they're all different workarounds. So I'm still on the fence for now. That's just my 2 cents.
All right, thank you, Kenneth. And I saw in comments, Clint said he has a free 2-month trial of LinkedIn Premium Career. Thank you for that, Clint. And it's inside the chat if you're interested. Is there a limited number of those that you're giving away, Clint? And how did you get access to that?
I think there's 2 or 3 left.
Okay. All right. Thank you for that, for sharing that with us. And then Laura Ross says she gets 20 personal notes a month. So I feel like LinkedIn is still testing out the threshold of how many personalized invitations you get. But I'll be honest with you, a lot of clients I work with, they're not even using the 10. So try to use out all the, use all the 10 first, right?
Exactly.
Use the free, right? Okay, so we need to do the drawing. So let me share my screen here. Where's the prize wheel? Let me pull this over here. And must be present to win. And I'm going to give everyone one last chance. If you want the opportunity to win a 15-minute free profile audit with me, I want you to go into chat and I want you to type in "pick me." And then I will add your name to the prize wheel. So I'll give everyone just another maybe 30 seconds to put their name in there. If your name's already on the wheel, I've got you. I'm not going to add in multiple numbers for you. So if you put your name in there once, you're all set. You don't need to put it in there again. And give me just a second to type in the additional names in here. All right. While we are doing that, Julie, did you have your hand raised again, or was that from earlier?
That was from earlier.
Okay, you're all set. All right. Katie Walsh. Marisa, I have you. Julie, I have you. Kelly. It'll take me just a second to do so. And while I'm doing so, do any of the All-Stars have any final comments, anything that you're working on right now, upcoming events, things like that, that you'd like to share with us? I need to buy some time as I'm typing in some names in here. Clint, you had your hand raised. Did you want to add something?
Yeah, just a quick question. You skipped over my question in the chat. What percentage of time should we be working with recruiters versus networking from your perspective?
Oh, good question. All-Stars, what do you think? How
Oh,
much time
oh,
should we be working with
oh, oh,
recruiters?
oh, let me,
Oh, Jay, go ahead.
and Clint, for everybody on the call, networking is so critical. I mean, the recruiters, God bless them, they're out there. They're very busy, but most of us, judging by the people on this call, have a Rolodex, and you all know what a Rolodex is, that is bulging with people that you've known over the years and people that I know you haven't spoken to in 20. Please reach out to these folks, reintroduce yourself, pick up where you left off, and just have a conversation. You don't know where those conversations will lead. Just like Brenda was talking about how when she found Sherry was looking at this company, she quickly reached out to other people she knows. It's unbelievable the magic that is sitting in front of you. But I think what's happening is, and I'm just as guilty, we get stuck in the weeds. We can't see the forest because we're sitting in the trees. And we've got all these people that we've known, all these relationships we've built up over the years. And we just forget about them because we're so focused on today. When if we just look back to the people we've grown up with, maybe people from grade school, right? Reach out. You don't know who knows who. You'd be surprised. You would be surprised who can help you. That black hole that Brenda has talked about and others have talked about on these calls, it's I mean, you can go there, but the chances of you getting bit by a shark are greater than somebody responding to you applying to a job in a black hole. So pull out your network, pull out your contacts, reach back to people you went to high school with, people you went to college with, people you used to work with, and just make a phone call and reconnect and rekindle those relationships. I think you'll save a lot of time, and you'll make new friendships again. How cool would that be?
Yeah. Thanks, Joey.
Yeah, sure. How's that, Brenda? Am I helping you, Brenda? You need more time.
Nailed the post or hit the post or whatever it was. I don't know. I went through the list one more time here. Okay, so again, must be present to win. I'm going to draw for 4 names. As long as you're on the session, then what I will do is I will email you instructions on scheduling this. This will be a 15-minute LinkedIn profile mini audit. I'll give you pointers on your profile to help to support you with your job search wherever you're on in the process. In exchange for me doing this for free, you'll allow me to record it. And the profile mini audit will also be published on my public podcast as well. Okay. So those are the terms and conditions on there. I'm going to go ahead and click on the wheel. And just like they do in Vegas, I hold up my hand so you can see I'm not like cheating, and I'm not going to like click the keyboard with my elbow and pick a friend because you're all friends to me. All right. First name is Katie Walsh. I'm going to write down the names on my notepad over here. Katie Walsh, congratulations, Katie, and I will be emailing you with instructions. Do this again. Second name, hands up. Here we go. I don't even know if you can stop it, actually. I always do the hands up thing, but I don't know if you can stop it. I think it does it automatically. Dan, I think I misspelled your last name, but you know who you are. So Dan, you will be one of these as well. Congratulations, sir. Okay, remove. Let's do this 2 more times here. I need to double check that these names are here too. Julia, can you double check that these folks are still on the session because must be present to win on here. All right, Jennifer is our 3rd winner. Congratulations, Jennifer. And 4th and final, and then we're just going to verify that you are all 4 on the call before we close off here. And I'll send you all instructions on booking this. All right, 4th and final person. Oh my gosh. Oh, Kelly, I felt for you right there. John Jones, did I get that right, or is it Don Jones? I feel like I transposed on there. Is it John or Don? It is John Jones. Okay, very good. All right, so John is still on the call. Congratulations, and let me just double check. Are the other individuals still on the call as well? Katie's on the call. Congratulations, Katie. Dan, I think I still saw you in there. Just going to double check here. Oh no, Dan dropped off. I don't see Dan on here, right? Julia, are you double checking these for me too? No, his name is Dan Barinholtz. So we're going to do another one because unfortunately Dan dropped off. So you must be present to win. That's the benefit of staying until the very end with me here. Let's do this again. Whoever the next person is, you're a lucky person because we're doing an alternative winner drawing here. Julia, you still on? I know you were. Julie, congratulations. Julie, I do need to get your last name and email address. So if you could just private message me in chat, because it just says first name in there, I would appreciate it. All right. So who else do we have? Jennifer. Is Jennifer still on the call?
I am.
Jennifer, you're there. All right, good. And then we did find John in there as well. All right, guys. And by the way, this tool that I'm using is called wheelofnames.com. It's free. You can put your branded colors in there and all kinds of fun stuff. And it makes for a really cool system of giving prizes away in there. All right. So thank you, Julie. Julie Ford. Okay, perfect. All right, guys. I want to say thank you so much for joining us here today. I'll remind you that this is a free VIP Job Seeker Office Hours event. We do this on the first Friday every month from 10 to 11 a.m. Eastern Time. Sometimes we go a couple minutes over. This is broadcast on YouTube. I'm going to ask Julia to drop the link inside chat for those of you who want to watch the playback again. And there's also a playlist if you want to watch some of our past calls. If you know of anyone who is in career transition, if you see a post, somebody saying they're looking for a job, struggling with their job search, just tag me in on the post and just say something like @Brenda Meller may have some resources that can help. And you can tag Mindy and Kenneth and Linda and all the other all-stars in there as well. But when you do that, it's kind of like you're winking to me and I'll wink back and I'll put a comment back and I will put the link for that person to join the call because I don't want anyone to feel like they're alone in this process. And hopefully you got a lot of value out of the call here today. You're leaving with some inspiration, with some new thoughts. You got to laugh and smile a little bit with us today too. And I do want to also remind you that you can download the chat before we leave. To download the chat, go to the bottom where it says to everyone. And then you should see 3 little dots off to the side, or you might have to click on the down arrow. Did you move chat? Maybe it's at the top now. It's at the top of mine now where it says save chat and then it saves it to your download folder. All right. And I'm going to keep this open for just a few minutes while you all do the download and whatnot, but I am going to